What's up, guys? I haven't seen you in a while. Trax News. I've been busy in the Diamond District here. I have a lot of responsibilities, but I haven't forgotten about you guys, and I'm going to tell you what's going on in the general sphere of things from my perspective that I think is important for you to know, the things that I keep in mind. I'm currently having a lot of anxiety about the future. There's a lot of things that bother me, and we're going to talk about GameStop, the next stimulus, what I'm doing for myself, what I'm doing for my interest, and how you should prepare yourself for what might be going down. So I'm obviously Johnny come lately with this GameStop story. They're still in the short squeeze. These guys still got them. The average Joe, the Robin Hood bidders, they still were able to squeeze them. It's a good squeeze at 92. What they are looking to do is to have the hedge funds that place these odious bets to buy in and be forced to be buying back this stock at $92. They sold something for $5, now they're forced to buy it back at $92, and that's the situation that they put themselves into. But there's a problem, and it goes to a bigger injustice. That what happened was, with Robinhood, what their excuse was that some insurance policy, so to speak, was preventing them to allow people to keep squeezing the stock up higher and higher, which was a lie. Someone in the back, in the fantasy land, the back streets, was able to pull the strings and prevent these hedge funds from losing money fair and square. And that's an underlying problem, because my personal belief is that this economy is really being looted, all right, against the common person. And you're going to hear a lot of that from here and there, but there's a fundamental reality to it that I want you to understand. This country has a historical dependency on slave labor or a get-rich-quick scheme, right? You know, you have these beautiful founding fathers with this nation is an amazing place and all this other stuff, and freedom and liberty, but at the same time, they hold slaves, they take land, and they have people work on it for free, and they take their labor and they steal it. And this has always been underlying, behind the scenes, behind the curtain in this country. And that's very unfortunate, but it's something that, I don't want to throw it out there, the slavery America, but you have to understand it, and you have to understand how it applies to this situation here. The market system is the new quasi form of slavery, where you don't get your labor from this economy. You don't get what you're supposed to get out of it. Some people, with the companies you work with the stocks that whoever's working on GameStop, they're making $15, $18 an hour. And meanwhile, there's people in the back strings enriching themselves off of nothing. They work nothing at all. Or they pump up the stock prices across the board for the owners of this country to become richer. And then they, instead of having 100 years worth of money, they have 1,000. Right? And this goes to show you in a lot of different cases. For instance, Amazon stock. Jeff Bezos just decided to leave the, he's becoming the chairman of the board at Amazon. Less work for him. He's hiring another CEO, probably because he has enough money to go to space, and he's probably going to be doing that. But what's the story with a stock like Amazon? Amazon's PE ratio is 79. That's garbage. To buy Amazon, if you wanted to buy the whole company, you'd have to spend $1.6 trillion. Amazon makes about $10 billion, $18 billion or so a year. So if you bought Amazon outright, and this is how Warren Buffett does it, right? I'll tie all this together. You would be looking at a company that cost you $1.6 trillion that makes $10 billion. It would take you 169 years to make your money back, roughly around there. And that's because there's so much printed capital that no matter, even if it's Amazon, it's overpriced and overinvested. And people have lined their pockets, whether with war or with anything, using the Federal Reserve, with war or with stocks, Dick Cheney, whoever. The new slavery is as follows, essentially. You become capital rich, you enrich yourself with capital that's printed from the Federal Reserve, and you steal it either through stocks and stealing labor that way, or you're stealing labor through war and you're stealing it that way. Because nothing is paid for, you don't raise taxes, you just print money for yourself, all of a sudden you become rich, no one is the wiser, money is hidden across this planet, and you're living in a situation where lies and fraud are all over the place. the end result of that is violence and bloodshed. It's always been that way since the beginning of time. And that's kind of something that I teach in my gold seminars and things like that, because gold is not something that you aspire for, but gold is something you could trust. Right? It's a metal you could trust. Nobody fabricated it out of nowhere. No one printed it and stuffed it in the market behind the scenes or anything like that. It is what it is. It's not the best tool, but it's one of the tools that we have. And what that boils down to is your circumstance. Your labor is being stolen and you're being defrauded and you don't even know it because you're not educated in school to even figure out what's even on this chart. You're not educated anywhere. You can only pull pieces of information together. Somebody made a wise comment. What's the solution? I don't really know what the solution is. You have to have the right leaders, but you don't have the right leaders because you're not the right people in some cases. There's a lot of bad people, a lot of ignorant people in this country, a lot of selfish people that have no interest in reality. They only care about celebrity culture, and that feeds in on itself and leaves us high and dry. What can you do? Comment, share. Valuable information doesn't have to be this video. And educate yourself and educate the people around you and take a stand some way, somehow. I'm doing what I can do. I don't really know what you could do, to be honest. When I come up with something, I will. But I'm doing what I can do. I'm communicating the information I see to you. You do whatever you feel is necessary. And we have to maneuver out of this situation, because if we don't, it's going to get ugly.